everyone, welcome to JS Kicks and my name is Deepak. Here in this tutorial we are going to be talking about the package.json and package-lock.json. These are two very important files. All that while we have only covered how an application is generated using the Angular 19 CLI, and we have also gone through how Angular JSON works in the last tutorial. In this tutorial we are only going to be focusing upon package and package-lock.json. But before I begin writing or before I begin talking about it, I just want to give it a go. I just want to start the application, but before I start the application, I also want you to focus on my terminal, right? So here I've given the clear and npm run. The first command that I write is the npm run start, right? So what do you mean by that? So npm run start essentially internally looks for a particular command and it starts the application. And what is that command? The command internally that it runs is called ng-serve, which is written at line number 6. So why not ng-serve directly? There is a reason. Let's say if you want to do a serve and if you wish to provide a different configuration, let's say port, let's say the proxy configuration, or let's say some other configuration, in that sense, in those cases, remembering the entire command would not really make sense. So what I mean by that is, say for example, if you wish to run npm run watch, so internally it is going to be doing the build under the watch mode and the configuration of it is going to be development. Just imagine that if you were to write the entire command here instead of just writing npm run watch test build start or whatever, right? So that is why this package JSON script tag is super important, right? Now if I scroll down further on this application or on this file, you would realize that I have something called dependencies, and below which I have something called dev-dependencies. So what is the difference? What is dependencies and what is dev-dependencies? So say for example, in case of dependencies, anything that your application needs when it bundles, it builds, and when it runs in the browser after the build, that's something all of those packages, all of those modules are required and kept under dependencies. So, and then what about dev dependencies? So dev dependency essentially is only required at the time of development. So in that sense, for example, dev kit, the CLI, the compiler CLI, Jasmine core, command, the test files, the TypeScript, all of these things are only needed during the time of development. They are not really needed post development, meaning once you build the dist folder, which is a minified and uglified version of your application. As you can see over here, this is the HTML, and now look at this. So this is an uglified and minified code, right? It has it is pretty huge in that sense. Like if you just scroll down here, you would notice that all of this file is written, JavaScript is written after the semicolon, the next line starts, so on and so forth, and it finishes up here in the main hyphen the hex number.js. So essentially it converts the JS file, right? So so that is why TypeScript is also not needed in the dependencies, because the browser does not understand TypeScript just yet. It only understands JavaScript, right? So that is why this is dependency and this is dev dependency. Now if you look carefully at line number 13, you may notice that Angular animation, compiler, core, platform browser, dynamic, and router, all of these have become 19 version. So essentially we are going to be running or building the application in Angular 19. That's something which I've been telling you all that while, right? And here on line number 2, you may notice that this is a name. So name is nothing but the name that you give to this particular application folder while creating it. So if you remember the command, if you may recall, the command we had written was ng new and dashboard -ng19, and that's when the application was created under this folder. You can see that this folder, and then later we open that in the VS Code, and the same name appears here, the name over here. Next thing is version. So by default it starts with 001, and then you can basically change the number as you wish to. So after first commit, sometimes people do minor and major version changes, and this is something which is done using the package.json over here, right? So this talks about the package.json version precisely, or the application version that you release. So if you further come down, there's another thing that you can see which is called private. So private essentially means that there are two properties that it can accept, which is a true and a false. So when a private is set to true, what it essentially means is that this is something which should not be published in the npm directory by default, right? So there is a command to publish the project or Angular library in the npm repository, and that's something, if you set it to true, it prevents it to go to the npm registry, because this is only required in local, and this is something which we are only going to be working in our current system, and we're not really going to be changing or pushing that in the npm repository, and that's why the private property is required, right? So that's pretty much it about package.json. I again want to bring your attention to scripts, right? So if you notice the script, we have written these 4 or 5 scripts rather. So let's say if there are a few other things that I want to bring your attention to, right? So there is something called hook, right? So what are those hooks? So hook essentially means that the pre-hook on the post hook. Let's say if you wish to do before doing a build, or let's say before doing a serve, let's say if you wish to do a pre-hook essentially means that if you wish to run another command before the npm run starts without writing it, so you can write pre-start, and in that case I also want it to be built, so you can just write npm run build. So what I'm gonna do is, like, I'm gonna be disconnecting this from here, HNQ, do a clear npm run start. So now you see that instead of directly starting the application, it has built your application at first. So if you just scroll up a little bit, you may notice that these are the bundle files which gets generated when you do ng build. But then prior to this, we were giving we were only giving it only used to run the ng serve and not really do the build. So now let me scroll down again and kill this application once again, and let's clear this console. Now I'm going to be talking about a hook which is called post hook. So in case of a post hook, let's say post build, right? Post build hook essentially means that once you run the ng build command, it is going to be running this once again. It is going to be running the command which is written just opposite to it, right? And let's just see that in action. So let me clear this and npm run build, and after the build is completed, it is going to be doing the ng serve, and it is going to be starting the application at port number 4200, right? So now we understand what post and pre-hook is, and we have also gone through each and every property in the package.json. Now it's time for us to talk about package-lock.json. So if you just open this particular file, you may notice that some of the features and properties are common between the package.json and package-lock.json. You can see the name appears here at the top, the version also appear here, and then there are a few other things, and then comes the package. So this is the package, that's something which you saw here, right? So let me just split this screen and open them into 2 equal halves. Now you may notice that all of these, right, packages is essentially the same dev dependencies and dependencies kept here. You may notice that the dev dependency and dependencies are pretty much saved here and saved under the package property, right? Now if you go further down, here is another important bit, right? So now if you look at this particular thing, right, AMP project remapping, you may notice that it has resolved integrity, version, dev license, and further dependencies, and so on and so forth. So what does it mean? So if you also notice that it also talks about the engines, and in this case it is written node, which is required minimum 6 version. So let me just help you understand what these two are. So when it is written here in resolved, what it essentially means is that whenever this particular dependency is installed in your system, it is going to be resolving from this particular URL, right? So you can see that it is a TZ file which is kept under this URL and under the global npm registry with name registry.npmjs.org, and this is the integrity, which is the SHA number required for authentication, and that without this probably it will not be able to download. And this particular file, which is also named as package-lock.json, keeps track of all the versions and dependencies and transitive dependencies as well. For an example, AMP project depends upon 2 other dev dependencies which are given at the line number 43, right? So what it would do is, like, the package.json or package-lock.json keeps track of all the dependencies required by the main dependency or transitive dependency as they say it, and also talks about the minimum requirement or the minimum criteria here. Like in this particular case at line number 47 to 49, we have noticed that it says that the node version minimum required is 6.0.0, or anything greater than 6.0.0 will work in this particular dependency, right? Similarly, if you go further down, you will notice that all of these are given here, and their dependencies, their transitive dependency, peer dependency, all of these are listed over here. The thing which is important here is that you need to be sure that you may be required in future. Let's say if you're debugging some particular issue, then it may happen that due to the version mismatch, some of the features sometimes don't work in the UI. So it may be a good place for you to come back and look at while you do a debug for those issues, to see that if the resolved dependencies are correctly versioned or not. That's an anecdote. That's just a bonus tip for you, for all the UI developers out there who are listening to my tutorial, right? So what is the use of package-lock.json and package.json? So package.json essentially keeps just the main dependencies. Package-lock.json keeps the main dependencies, their version and where they are being downloaded from, and along with that transitive and internal dependencies as well. So let's say if you are, let me just try to open any of the dependency right here. So let's say node modules amp project remapping, right? So if we open node modules, see here is the amp, and if you look at the package.json over here, it talks about the amp project remapping. The version over here is 2.3.0, and let's just see the version also matches here. This package.json is being opened from the amp project in the node.js, although it is not really required. I just want to give you a clarity on how package-lock works, and that's why I've opened it. But then you, in normal scenario, you may never have to open these files and look at these dependencies, but sometimes if you're stuck, it's a good thing to know, right? So that's why package-lock is required. So it essentially, you can check for all the versions if you like. And in this particular case, what happens is that the version given here and the version installed under the node modules would match one another, right? So package-lock holds another meta about the dependencies that you're downloading, along with transitive dependency, their version, their dependencies, and everything about those dependencies which are required for your application to run properly in the browser, right? So that's all about package.json and package-lock.json, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're liking my work, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon in case if I post a new video, you would be notified. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be seeing you in the next tutorial, wherein I will give you the overview of other files kept inside this particular folder.